True, okay, we're on top of the tower. Imagine instead of this being a tower, it was, oops. Imagine instead of this being a tower, it was like a human. And then, okay, you go inside the mouth, right? And you might, this is like the brain, and you explore the brain, and you see all the hemispheres, and you color code each part of the hemisphere with wool to say this part of the hemisphere is the temporal lobe, this is the occipital lobe, this is the parietal, etc., etc., etc. So they learn about the lobes, and then, okay, cool. You might have that done for one day, and then the next day you continue your adventures. Or the next time that you do it, you might alternate, okay, we'll play Minecraft today, and the next day we'll write about it, or we'll play this today, and then we'll reflect on our experiences or whatever, talk about what we learned, something like that. But anyway, you could do something like that, and then the next day you might, okay, let's go into the lungs. So you drop down the trachea, and it's just this giant trachea, and obviously this isn't a trachea, but it's a tower. And then you go on here, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Here's the lungs, and here are the little things in the lungs, and you can have that, right? And it's like a storyline almost in terms of a very linear progression of events. So okay, you're done with the lungs. I just said linear, now we're backtracking, but whatever. And then okay, now it's time to go into the digestive system. So instead of going down the trachea, you go down the esophagus, and in the esophagus we go. And now we explore all this, and we see stomach acid, and then you can have the, what do you call those things? The enzymes in your stomach can be represented by squids, right? So imagine this. Imagine a texture pack where the water is orange, yeah? The water is orange, and then the squids look like something really cool. So imagine this water is orange, and these are some squids here. And you can just spawn in squids, right? You can just say, grab these eggs. You probably already know you can spawn in squids. It's not a big deal, but boom, right? Squid, 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 squid. And like these are your enzymes, and they're breaking down all the food, etc., etc. So I don't know, just an idea in terms of that. Another cool thing, I'm just going to clear my inventory again, that I thought might be an interesting idea, especially using WorldEdit, is doing something more solar system-y. So I have over here set up a binary star system. You can see this is sort of a it's not really done correctly. The blue giant should actually be larger than the golden one, but whatever. Nighttime, and I don't know if this is a functional if this is a functionality you have in your teacher edu mod. It probably is, but if it's not, in essentials, what you can do is say ptime at night, and it. Oopsie, I did double slash. Supposed to be single slash. P-time at night. And now our time is fixed at nighttime, no matter what the actual global time is. My player's time, my player's time is fixed at night. You can see the moon is sort of jerking back and forth. Ka-chung, 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 because it's staying at one little section. So anyway, here's our star, correct? Here's our star. And you can, if you look, this is a map I have. This is called, well, there's supposed to be a map over here, right over here. This is called Ray's Minimap, as you can see. And it's basically just a map that you can use. You don't have to actually have a map object. You just have a map in your corner that, excuse me, that helps out with, this is your coordinates, and it shows a bunch of stuff, and it's really cool stuff. But you can see sort of the stars. Oops. You can see the quote-unquote stars in the map, yeah? And let me just get my big map going. You can zoom in a bit. So here we are, and it's following us around. And so just keep your eye up in the corner there on the big star, because we're going to sort of illustrate what happens to a binary star system sometimes when some of the material in one that might be this might be like a white dwarf, and it'll be like really dense, and it'll be like grabbing material from this, and then it'll. You know how that happens? How like white dwarfs grab material from their other binary things, and then they sort of go nova by accident or on purpose, or whatever. Anyway, so imagine your kids are out there, like watching. So then you would do / or hsphere. hsphere. I think this whole thing is about 12 or 15. I think it's about 12 in terms of radius. So we can say obsidian. 15. Boom. Did that work? Yeah, it worked. So look at the map up there. Oops. Now we got this giant black mass. So basically, let me just illustrate that from over here. We can do an undo and a redo, and it'll just do the same thing. Undo. Da-da-da-da. Okay. So your kid's right here. Goes Nova. And then... Did that work? Yeah. Black hole, oh my god. So, you know, it's just another idea, and that WorldEdit makes that really easy. Now, obviously, if this were the case, you'd have to be able to use WorldEdit in conjunction with your teacher app, as opposed to, say, just using WorldEdit at home and a home copy of Minecraft, and then coming and importing that world, and then putting all your teacher blocks in. So it would have to be compatible with your MinecraftEdu or MinecraftEdu. P-time default. Default. And we can make it day. So that's sort of all I was thinking about last night. Was just these ideas of implementing the same thing basically that you thought of, but then doing it in a way that makes it easier for the map maker, and also I think can end up being a bit more engaging to the kids. All I have to say, I love your cell that you started making. It looks so organic, which is really nice, as opposed to something like, you know, that nucleus, which is just a sphere. It looks more like this thing, which is like more organic. I don't know if that was intentional or if it just kind of was like ended up that way. But I really like that about it. So, yeah. But just realize that, you know, with a plugin like this, or with one called Voxel Sniper, which I mentioned before, I think, which is sort of a similar thing to WorldEdit. It's just the learning curve is slightly steeper, but I think in the end you can do more with it. I haven't actually given it a shot yet. I'm still relatively new to WorldEdit. But I mean, you know, it's definitely really powerful. But you know, it's instead of taking ages to build a giant cell you may have been working on for about a month to prepare for that lesson, you can make maps in a day and have, you know, just lessons ready every single day by using something like this. And then, like I said, you don't even have to use this mod in conjunction with MinecraftEdu if you have it on a separate computer or a separate Minecraft thing, where you would build it in here and then you put all your teacher blocks in a different way, in just with the, like when you're using the mod, and like maybe like the school copy or whatever. Now that said, I don't know if they're compatible. I'm reasonably sure they are. I know WorldEdit is pretty decent with its compatibility, but I don't know. Luckily, some official modding API is being developed by the guys at Bucket, who have been recently hired by the guys at Mojang or however you say it. So I think that'll be really good in terms of compatibility. It'll be good for compatibility in the future, so that's good. What was I going to say? I had one more thing. I was going to tip my tongue about this. I'm not sure. It might not have been important. But yeah, so that's what it is. And like you can get real creative with this stuff. I mean, you can get so creative. Imagine you're in, you know, the lower. Imagine you're in some place in the human body that has cilia, right? Cilia. So you'd say, okay, slash. How do I do this? / forest gen. It'll tell me how to do it in a sec. / forest. I think. Let me check my reference. I haven't done this in a while. File, open recent, this thing. This is sort of a little reference PDF for WorldEdit. Forest. So we have the size, the type, and the density. Okay, cool, awesome. So we do forest gen, size, whatever. Forest gen. Size, we can make it like 30. Type, I don't know if this is actually going to work on sand. Well, we'll give it a shot on sand and see what happens. Type, what are the types again? The types are, we can do redwood. I think that's the one. It's the really tall ones, I think. Maybe it's sequoia. I don't know. 1. Yeah, didn't work on grass. On sand. So let's go on some grass. Just teleport over here. Get rid of these eggs. Oops. Get rid of these eggs. Sorry, this is taking a little while to get over here. Just trying to find a good spot. Well, I mean, we can always undo it. So imagine this is your plane, right? And then you can just do it like that, and boom, we have, trees. But okay, so they're trees, Oh, cilia, trees. Okay, yeah. But it's more than that, because you can do so much with WorldEdit. So say wand, right? Grab your wand, and then literally, as opposed to figuratively, little joke. You can just grab like all these trees. I'm going to be a little sloppy here for the sake of time, but you can like grab all these trees here, right? And just like all this, like just all that, and say, okay, I want my leaves to be, leaves to be ice. Leaves ice. Replace leaves ice, right? And then okay, so that looks kind of cool. It looks like a little membrane, and then you can have log or replace. Go back. Replace logs with what? Anything. I don't know. Just anything. So much pressure. Wool, the orange wool, right? Wool, orange. Log. Just one log. Replace log with orange wool. So now, you got these cool structures. The ice is starting to melt. There's the glowstone there, but anyway, you got these cool structures to represent whatever, and you can just spawn these things inside your forest or your stomach or whatever. You know what I mean? These are your intestines. These could be like those intestine things. And what's more, say you have one, right? Grab all this, all of that. Grab all that, right? So you can do like a copy paste. So just stand right here. It copies it in relation to where your location is. Copy, paste. Oops, I just pasted it in the same spot. But you can do something like this. Paste. And now you're just pasting these things without having to build them. How awesome is that? And you can paste them on whatever you want. You can paste them in the air. Right? So, it offers a new set of functionality, I think. Keep doing some undo. Oh no, nothing left to undo. Oh no, we're good. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so, all this stuff here that you're seeing right now has just been what I've been doing, testing out this this plugin in the last few days. And we got some pretty cool stuff going on here. So, I don't know, it's just something that might have taken a long time. Like this tower here, this giant tower, it took me like, 15 minutes. Like something like this usually takes forever because you're placing block after block. I mean, even if you had something that you could stand up here and just click and all the blocks would come, you know what I mean? That's powerful, but I mean, you're literally, you can like copy paste. You can make 20 of these by just boom, 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 copy paste. There's another one. I just copy pasted it over there before. Earlier, a few days ago, copy pasted it here. So something like that, and these little temples things that I made, these little fountains are everywhere too. It just becomes really easy. I thought I drained this. I must have undid that action by accident. Drain 10. Okay. So yeah, just give it a thought. You can download WorldEdit from just by searching Google WorldEdit, and it'll be in the Minecraft forums, I think. Also, what I'm using now, the reason why you can see these little blocks here is because I'm using what's called the WorldEdit client user interface, and that is a mod that goes on the client so that you can see these little red lines. Without the client user interface, it still works. but you just will have less of a reference frame in terms of what you're selecting, and it makes it a little bit more difficult. So yeah, give me your thoughts on what you think. If this is cool, I'm sure you'll think it's probably kind of cool. Or for all I know, you already know a lot about this, and I'm just preaching to the choir. But yeah, deselect this. Oops, deselect that. One more thing, and I mean, it makes things a lot, it opens up a lot of worlds, in terms of what you can do, right? You can make your own mountain, pretty much. I don't know if you're, like I said, I don't know how much of this the Minecraft education mod contains. I'm sure it's made to give the teachers a ton of control over their environment. So for all I know, it does this already. But looking at the way you're building the cell, I would say that it doesn't, unless you just really want it to look really organic. But even then, you could just make a bunch of spheres and then sort of smooth them out to change the geometry. Let's just do a brush, sphere, grass, 11. Oh, max 5. Yeah, I gotta change that in the settings, but whatever. So now we're making a mountain, right? Da, 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 da. I saw you had a little video on contour maps. Something like this. You can make your own mountain. Boom. Right? And then you would say, okay, now grab some iron ingot, or better yet, a feather. Makes more sense. And do a smooth brush. And then these are just certain parameters of the smooth brush that I'm just adjusting. Daytime. And you can just smooth this down into whatever sort of mountain you want. A lot of times what people will also do, and this is sort of a tangent to what I was originally going to say in terms of this video, but what people sometimes do is, instead of doing it like that, I mean, you can see we already have kind of a pretty good mountain here going. I mean, it's very steep. So what people will do is they'll say mat sand. So now we're using sand. So it falls into a nice sort of position there. That makes things a bit easier to deal with, without having like these weird undercroppings and stuff. So I don't know. Hey, and then we can go in with our smooth brush and just start smoothing things down, flattening things out. I don't know. People also use gravel, and the reason why you might use gravel instead of sand is because it's a little less common. So that then what you can do is just go through and replace like all the sand with, like, grass. So now it's an actual legitimate mountain. So anyway, that's just a little thought. I might upload some more videos if I get any other ideas for some cool maps, or if I actually just decide to make some sort of human body adventure map or something. That might be kind of cool. But yeah, just wanted to show you this, give you sort of an idea of maybe what you might be able to do when you combine these two worlds of world editing things and excuse me, just stretching, and educational mods, and also give Voxel Sniper a look. I'm using WorldEdit here, but really give Voxel Sniper a look. In my opinion, I think you can actually do a lot more with Voxel Sniper than you can with WorldEdit. People will argue that back and forth a bit, but I think Voxel Sniper has a bit steeper learning curve. The learning curve is a bit steeper in Voxel Sniper, but I think it's worth it to learn how to do this, because you can end up making some pretty impressive things, really impressive stuff. This cell is just nothing compared to what you could do. but this is sort of just a demonstration of how much more quickly that you can build this sort of stuff, as opposed to taking weeks and weeks or months and months. You can, bang it out in a weekend or something like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything. Let me know what you think about this, and feel free to leave a comment or two or whatever. Some thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. That stuff doesn't really matter to me that much in terms of the thumbs up or thumbs down. It is a nice sort of feedback, but I don't make videos that often, so yeah. And like I said, I'm not really a teacher. I'm more of a musician, composer actually. But I find stuff, education and things fascinating, and all the different cool ways you can teach kids, and then just see what comes out of that, once they take it and do something with it. It sort of transcends what you originally tried to do, which can be really cool. So, yeah. So, coolio. I think I'm just gonna sign off here. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you watched the whole way through. It was a bit longer than I had anticipated, but I figured it was going to go on a bit long. Alrighty. Thanks.